Hey guys, I'm Chris from Pinetop Jackson. You can find me on the social media pages at Pinetop Jackson. I'm on the train right now headed into the city to visit with a guy I know named Mr. Eido. I met Mr. Eido several years ago, about 5 or 6 years ago when I first moved to the Pacific Northwest. He bought a guitar case off of me. And since then, he's turned into a big Ibanez fanatic, I guess. He's got a huge collection of Ibanez guitars, some old ones from the 70s. And he invited me up to his place in Pioneer Square to check it out.
Next stop, Pioneer Square Station. Transfer using doors to my left to continue your trip.
My name is Eido. I live in Seattle, Washington. I'm a jazz musician, or musician, whichever you prefer. My wife is a ballerina, and we have a group called Mental Jackson. We do original music with ballet dance. And so I'm here today showing my guitar collection. I love Ibanez guitars. I started playing Ibanez in my mid-20s. I started playing when I was 15. My first instrument was a PV-T40, I think it was.
Nice.
The old basses. Or is that the guitar? I'm probably going to get slapped by one of you guys. Say, hey man, maybe it's the T60. I can't remember.
I think the T60 is the guitar, so the T40 would be the bass.
It is, right? Okay, cool. So T40 basically looked like a piece of furniture.
Yeah, it's wood grain. It's
wood grain. But it was an awesome bass. I mean, you could literally, there's so many functions to it. But got into Ibanez, went to Musicians Institute in Hollywood, then ended up living in Japan for 7 years, and I just always loved Ibanez. And so the reason I kind of stick with Ibanez is because I know my place in life. I'm not a lawyer or a doctor or a famous musician that makes a ton of money. If I collected Gibson guitars, I'd probably have 2 or 3. So I'm a working class musician, street musician, and I feel like Ibanez is the working class guitar that fits my lifestyle. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, with no further ado, I'd like to show you some of my guitars, and we'll start out with the first one. This is an Ibanez model 996, made in 1964. It's a really cool guitar, and I'll make sure that you can see the case. Ibanez 996.
Yeah.
That's my baby.
And a weird old kind of plasticky case.
Well, it's actually not. It looks like plastic, but it's actually a different kind of material. 1971, and some people on Facebook, the Ibanez page, disputed that and said that it might be a 73, but the person that sold it to me assures me it's a 1971 2355 in very awesome condition.
So we're going in order of year manufacture?
Yeah, or in order of what I can grab.
Right on.
So I'm trying to be in order, but I doubt it. So this is a 2368 semi-hollow body. It's got the F-hole, and this is also a 1971, what they call a lawsuit guitar.
Oh, because that headstock is identical to a Tele, huh?
Yeah, it's to the spec. 1977 Silver Series Stratocaster. Very cool. And unfortunately in this video I can't show you, but I recently purchased a 2365. It's the Jazzmaster version, and it's really awesome, but it's getting some work done to it. So. This is a 1977 2669.
1977.
Yeah, 1977. I'm not sure I'm saying that right. 2629. 2629. Dot inlays. So the 2629 is like the junior version of the 2630, which has block inlays. I shouldn't say junior because they're the exact same guitar, but this has dot inlays, so it's called the 29. And if it had block inlays, it'd be the 30. Yeah. This is the one most people watching the video will be like, I want that guitar, because it's a tough one to find. I got this from Mr. Ibanez and had it restored into mint condition. And the guy that did the work is Japanese and actually worked for the company. So.
What did he do to it?
He repainted it, refinished it,
Okay.
Restored it. It was in very, very bad shape. There was some modifications done to it, and got it right down to a sticker.
Let's close up on that one. Made in Japan.
Made in Japan. He had all the good stuff. Different tuning keys than when I bought it. These are more period correct. Everything is period correct and original. These are all original Ibanez parts. No other company. So.
What year is that again?
This one here, let me see what Earl said.
We got a list we're going off of.
Oh, there we go. 74.
74.
Yeah, 2337 is the model.
Okay.
It's a really good one. Here's my 2394. I remembered the model number because it's on the back of the plate.
I would just call it an SG.
Yeah. It's, bolt-on neck, of course. You know, all of the SGs have them except for the 2347. I know that one is single pickup and set neck. I'd like to get one of those. Anybody has one, please give me a call.
What year is that one?
This one here is a 73.
73.
Yeah. This one I also bought from Mr. Ibanez, unmolested. This, no work had to be done. It's literally a museum quality guitar. There literally is not a niche on this, and I think, you know, I might be telling the story wrong, and if I am, hopefully Mr. Ibanez will correct me, but I believe what happened was that a music store ordered this guitar in the 70s, and this pickup was broken and didn't work, so it was defective, and they just threw it in the back of the store, and I think they forgot about it for a long time. And then somehow Mr. Ibanez got a hold of this guitar, and they put a EMG, and this guitar is in magazines, and you'll see it, and you'll see that the bridge pickup says EMG on it. But they saved the original pickup, and that's awesome, you know. So when I bought the guitar, I was really disappointed that they had an EMG in it, and then I got excited because he said that they saved the pickup. And I sent the pickup off to a dude to fix it, and he got it fixed no problem. You know, I didn't even have to rewire it. And so this guitar is 100% original.
That neck pickup there is the original one that wasn't working?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
Yeah, this is the original pickup that they got the guitar from in Japan to the United States. So yeah, this is super duper nice, and I should probably tell you the model number. And I can't believe that I can't remember. This is a 2344. So,
What year?
Also 74.
70.
Same year as the 2337. I don't like to play or touch it because it literally doesn't have a dent or a scratch on it, and I don't want to be the bozo that puts the first one in it, so I hardly ever play it. I just kind of look at it and go, wow.
Oh, the double neck.
For some reason, the second I get a double neck in my hands, I think of Spinal Tap. I don't know why, but it's like an automatic thing for me. I'm like, ah.
Wow, how heavy is it?
It's pretty heavy, you know, and in actuality, I find this very useful. The bass sounds actually amazing. It has a really tight, almost Fender Jazz sound in the bridge pickup, but the neck pickup has that 70s Mudbucker kind of, just that tone, like R&B tone, or, you know, it just really sounds great, and the guitar sounds great. And why this guitar is kind of useful for me is if I'm in a really writing mood and I want to do a lot of writing, if I sit down at my studio, at my DAW, and use the double neck, I can just wail out a bass part and then flip to the guitar, and then want to make a modification real quick, and just, you know, going back and forth, and you don't have to bounce between instruments. So the creative flow actually less interrupted, and you keep that going a lot quicker. And I find that I write better with this guitar than I do writing with any other guitar.
Awesome.
And this is you know, I should have all these memorized, you know what I mean, but I don't.
Now, Ibanez, all the models are different series of numbers, and Ibanez guys got to have a lot of numbers in their head all the time.
Oh man, for real. And there's probably someone out there going, dude.
It's a
Right,
blah,
exactly.
blah, blah.
Just say it. Say it. Come on. Oh, there we go. 2404. Yes. Yes. I heard you, okay? I was just pretending like I didn't hear you. So the Lawsuit Series Les Paul guitars, 2350, and you guys all know them. And so this is the 2350B. It's got an open book headstock, so it's a genuine Lawsuit guitar, and it's really cool. It has the mute on it, so it's really awesome. And these don't look like original tuning keys, but they are. If you look in, you research it, you'll find that This guitar never had a pickguard, so there's no hole here or no hole here. Sometimes they come with pickguards, sometimes they come with the black tuning keys, sometimes they don't have the mute. And the one thing that I love about this particular guitar, if you look these up, the 2350B, that it's very rare that you see it as an Ibanez with the Gibson diamond, the custom diamond. So usually if you look in magazines, you'll see it with just this and no name, or you'll see it with a name but no mark, and this one has the Ibanez name plus the diamond.
This one's super lawsuity.
Yeah, it's super lawsuity.
Do you find yourself using the mute?
Yes, I love it, actually, yeah, and I have, and it's really cool. It's great for walking bass. They actually have flat wounds on right now, and I'm not a big fan of flat wounds, but you know, I recently purchased this bass, and I've just been enjoying the flat wounds, you know, and I'll eventually change them to roto sounds and eat up my frets. But for right now, my frets are in good condition. So this is my, you know, if I need a bass real quick, I just grab that. So I'll show you a couple more that are hanging up, and then we'll bust into the
Stacks of cases.
the stacks of cases of guitars that I haven't seen in a long time. So I like Jet King guitars too, and I street perform for a living. I go to Space Needle or the Waterfront and I play music, and I call them my work guitars. And my wife actually bought me this Jet King. So Jet King from 2005, and it's made in Indonesia, and it's played a lot because I play on it for about 6-7 hours a day, every day for a few years. So it's
got some love.
It's got some use, and they're really awesome guitars. It's got split coils, so you can go single coil or a humbucker. Very simple, and it's made in Indonesia, and it's a great guitar. So since I fell in love with this guitar, always looking at other ones. They have that Omar Rodriguez kind of signature model where it's a tulip headstock and it's 3 on each side, and only a single pickup. But I tend to stay away from player models because I don't feel comfortable playing something with anybody else's name on it.
It's a unique plate that the strings go through.
Yeah, just right to the back. Yeah, it's crazy. The tension ends up being here instead of in the headstock. That's why the Gibsons snap, because all the tension's right in the... So that was a Jet King too, and I recently got this guitar, and this is also Indonesian. It's the Jet King 1, and the pickguard's metal, coil split just like a regular Jet King would be. All the hardware is pretty much the same, but it's 3 and 3, and the slit is reverse. Okay. This is the butterscotch model, and we have a dog named Butters. So it's kind of cool. But this is, I will use this guitar to work with. So I've been playing with that and that guitar.
How do you feel about 3x3 versus the 6 in line?
I like the 3x3 better than the 6 in line because
I
I tend to make less mistakes too.
Okay.
Like I'm the king of grabbing the wrong knob and going, okay, I'm an idiot. Oh, by the way, this is Butters.
Hi, Butters.
So this is also a Jet King, and it's actually really, really, really hard to find. It's the only Jet King that's semi-hollow body.
Oh, wow,
so if you see here...
Get closer, it's hard to see with the black finish. Wow.
This guitar is made in China.
Okay.
And so I usually, sorry, but I try to stay away from Chinese-made Ibanez's. You know, Korea is okay. Indonesian's great, but I'd rather have a Japanese Ibanez than anything else. They got a few basses.
It's fretless there?
Yeah, I've actually made this fretless myself.
Oh, okay.
So
Pull them out and then filled it in?
yeah. And then this is my main bass. I play in a band called Cabbage with this bass, and I painted this bass myself. It's got a quote by Frank Zappa on it.
Without deviation from the norm, progress is not possible.
Yep. And it's got a Roland pickup on it, and I use the Roland V bass. And this is made in Japan, as well as the other bass was made in Japan.
Okay.
They're great basses. So Seymour Duncan electronics, and there's like a motherboard with an alternative EQ that you set with a screwdriver, and then while you're playing you can just pull the knob up and it kicks in that EQ, specific EQ, and then you got treble, mid-range, and bass, so it's really cool the way it's set up. And then it's set for Roland as well, so kind of a fun guitar.
Awesome.
This is an unbranded Ibanez, and I branded it myself. And I get it, you know, if it doesn't say Ibanez, it's made by Hoshino Gaki, it's probably not an Ibanez, and I agree with you guys. And I think in some respects, it's wrong. But I love Ibanez a lot, and I would rather play this guitar and let people know, you know, what I'm playing, than to have it blank and them not know that it's from a great company. So this was made in Russia by some really good copyists, and it's real mother of pearl. And then the work was done, are you ready for this? Not at a guitar store. I called Mako. Yeah, you heard me right. And I said, hi, I don't own a car, but you think you would do a guitar? And they're like, yeah, bring it in. And they charged me $20, and they did a phenomenal job. And it's amazing. So I'm going to get a truss rod, and I'm going to have it made that I'm going to put my name on it and say that I branded this, and it's not branded by Hoshino Gaki or Ibanez. So that way, if it's ever resold, because I'm going to keep this till I die, but you know, down the road or whatever, if it's resold, I don't want people, people thinking
that's a good,
that
honest
it's
thing to do.
the real deal, even though it is the real deal. And also to add to that story, one of the reasons that I did brand it is I got this guitar in horrible shape. I mean, it was beat down, and I got it super cheap. And I just love instruments, and I saw the potential. It's original tuning keys, no holes in the headstock.
It's got the stars.
They had EMGs in it, and they had screws in the pickup covers that were probably from a door or something. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy, and cracks in the pickup covers, and it didn't even have a pickguard. And the distance on this guitar is not usual, so it's really hard to get a pickguard. So I designed this pickguard and had it made. It's a cream hardware, and it's black with cream inlay, or not inlay, layer, a cream layer, and then black on the other end. pickup in backwards, and yes, I do. But it's just an experiment. I watched a video on YouTube about getting a Strat sound with a Les Paul, and it's using single coil push pots to make this the single coil, which is a little bit further from the bridge, and it gives you more of a nice rhythm Strat sound. You know, it's kind of close to it, not exact, but it's fun. And so I'm kind of like a jazz dude, and I've dominated in this pickup area. Very rarely play there, so I just wanted to have some fun. And since, you know, I kind of put this guitar together myself and had it refretted, I thought, you know, let's do something cool. So I don't have the electronics yet, so that's the last phase. I'm going to get push-pull pots that go down one, up, and then up another. And so it'll be single coil and series and out of phase. And it's going to be a lot of fun. And I actually use this guitar a lot, and would consider this a work guitar, because I'm not afraid to put a dent or mess with this guitar, because it's already been in hell and back.
Tell me once again about the headstock, though. You got this mother of pearl made from Russia. They cut it and sent it to you, and then you just had the auto body shop glue it and laminate over it?
So I personally placed it.
Okay.
And you see it kind of nudges a little crooked.
Oh, way to go.
Yeah, and so I did that on purpose. Anybody that's an Ibanez dude will look at that and go, nah.
Right on.
They're going to know right away. But the casual person ain't going to know the difference. You know. And so I'm going to get a truss rod cover saying that I branded this guitar myself. Nice. And that it was originally unbranded.
And then how did you know that it was Ibanez?
Well, anybody that knows Ibanez will just by looking at it, you know, the build, the tuning keys.
That's a big giveaway there.
Yeah, there's a lot of giveaways. I just love this guitar. I had the semi-hollow body version of it with, it was more like a humbucker with a Tele pickup, and it was really cool, but I ended up selling it, which I kind of regret.
Oh, bummer.
But I picked this one up in a little trade deal. Okay. So it's made in Indonesia.
What model and year is it?
This is the RC330T, and it was made the year 2013. It's actually my newest guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, literally and figuratively.
Right on.
Oh yeah, MNC, yeah, because the other one, remember, it was each letter was independent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one has the M.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is a 1977 Silver Series jazz bass Fender. Okay. So if you look at the strap, they're same year.
Oh, okay. Yeah, look at that.
Same year, same manufacturer.
Copy of the Fender
Ibanez
headstock.
looks like an M. Ibanez.
Oh, yeah.
Ibanez.
Okay.
Yeah, that's hard to say that 10 times.
Let
Ibanez.
me get closer on it. Ibanez.
My Ibanezes. I can't even say that. The other jazz bass is not a Silver Series. And it has that independent lettering.
Okay.
This is probably my. Oh, okay. This is a Ghostrider. They made this guitar only for 2 years. And it's a P90 setup, neck through body. It's made in the Samik factory in Korea, 1995. Ghostrider. This is my only shredder guitar. So this is also made in Indonesia. It's RG950 Premium, made in 2012 in September. Yeah, and it's an awesome guitar. It's got the Bill Lawrence in the bridge, and the Edge 2 tremolo, which has a modification in it, plus it has the brass.
Oh.
Yeah. It's actually set up absolutely perfectly. The guy that set it up really, really knew what he was doing. And so using a locking tuning setup like this is very finicky, and anybody that's worked with them knows it's you really have to be in one with yourself and the guitar to make it behave right. And so most of my experiences, and I'll show you the guitar in a little bit because it was actually my first Ibanez guitar. I bought it in Arizona. But most people's experience is frustrating, but this is set up so well that it just really, it's well balanced and stays in tune. It's awesome. I'm gonna dust this thing off and start playing it again. It's
Beautiful finish.
Huh?
Beautiful finish on it.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy. They have a guitar that has Steve Vai's blood in it. You know? I mean, come on, man. Like, I can just see the round table thing. Yeah, what can we do? You know, oh, I know. We'll just go get Steve Vai's blood and we'll throw it in a guitar. I'm sure you'll be cool with that.
Apparently it was.
And he was, yeah. It's like, sure, you know, like I'd faint because I hate needles. But no, I just like a company that's willing to, you know, try different things, and they have definitely done that over time.
Ooh.
This is PF 300 from 1978, and it's a really great guitar actually. Set neck, heavy. It's got some weight to it. You know, you definitely have to, if you do a full gig with this, by the end of the gig, you know you did a gig. That's probably why I don't play it live. But it does out of phase, and I love out of phase because if you're doing funk rhythm guitar, you know, and you're in a band and it's a full mix, it's just an instant way to have you just cut up, you know, cut under and fit into the mix without, you know, being bass heavy in your rhythm, and you know, really percussive. And so I like that kind of feature. We're gonna be done soon.
We're getting down there.
Yeah. I believe this is a 2398, and if I'm wrong, I apologize. I could probably check real quick.
So no logo on the headstock there?
No logo. Yeah, for sure. But this is an Ibanez.
Yeah.
You know, or anything else. Yeah, I agree with you guys. I hear you. But in my heart, it's an Ibanez. So. I got a smoking deal on this, and you guys are going to hate me when I say this, but I paid $200 for this guitar. And I know I could sell it for $12 right now if I wanted to. But I go on Craigslist religiously every day, probably 2 or 3 times a day, and just type in Ibanez and see if anything pops up. And this popped up. one day. It couldn't have been on the site for more than an hour, and I called the guy and tried to say with a calm voice that I was interested in his guitar. Kind of chill, I got the power to say, yeah, I'm interested in that guitar that you're selling for $200. And then I tried to talk him down.
Well.
No. But he did try to buy me lunch, and I felt guilty, and I said, no, I'll buy you lunch. So,
Nice.
But he actually tours with the Foo Fighters, and so I don't know if he was a guitar tech, and he does the amp work.
Okay.
And super nice guy. I didn't get into the price because I didn't want to bring that subject up. I just wanted to give him $200 and own the guitar. And when I got home, I was just absolutely floored on how awesome this guitar is. Like, it's really heavy. It's just as heavy as that PF 300, but this guitar is freaking amazing. It really is. Black inlays like you like on
The SG.
yeah.
Will the hardcore Ibanez heads be mad if I keep calling it SG instead of its actual model denomination?
No, because it is an SG. It is what it is. This is a Les Paul.
Yeah.
But what they are is they're copies.
Yeah.
And I can afford. So this is the only guitar in my collection that's not an Ibanez. It's a Greco.
Oh, wow.
Greco is made by Hashinogaki, just like Ibanez, and Greco is the Japanese brand. So Ibanez is the American brand. You'd have a brand like Man Guitars, and that would be for Canada, and they pretty much have their own name for almost every country, it seemed like, at one point, that they had a market in. And when you buy a Greco, they really copy Gibson, to every little angle, because it was made in Japan, sold in Japan. You can't get sued for making something in your own country and selling it in your own country, I believe. Comments below. So yeah, it's a set neck, and as you all guys know, it's pretty hard to get an Ibanez set neck SG. Yeah, if I could, I'd probably sell this. Yeah, a 1981 artist. All original pickups, original bridge, original tuning keys. No holes in the headstock. By the way, if you own a guitar and you want to change the tuning keys and you need a drill to do it,
Don't do it.
don't do it. Yeah, please don't do it. Stop doing that. Please stop doing that, because it's not cool. You can find, you can change your tuning keys. Just make sure you get the same footprint, so that way you can screw it into the same hole and leave the option for the next guy to have it all original, because all original means a lot to us because we love our guitars. We don't upgrade. We like to keep it downgraded. This is my last guitar, I guess, and this is my first guitar I ever owned that was Ibanez.
Oh, wow.
My first guitar I ever owned, period, because I'm originally a bass player.
Okay.
And so this is low end. Oh, I actually do have one more guitar to show you. This is a low end EX 1500s, student model, student grade guitar. And we have a luthier who just passed away. His name's Mike Lowell, and he's kind of like the guitar repair guy for all this, Pearl Jam, and because we're here in Seattle, so he did all the stars, Alice in Chains, and very talented man, and he just passed away. And he did this guitar. You notice it's Roland ready, and it has the input jack, 13-pin input jack. So usually when you get a Roland, it's going to have a big wart on the guitar, and it's kind of an eyesore. And I didn't want to go that route, so I asked Mike to do this for me, and he did it. So a little bit of his life.
So all
my
the
guitar.
all the circuitry is inside under the pickguard?
Yeah.
Okay.
So boom, you just plug it in there, and you're good to go. No ginormous wart.
Okay.
So I said last guitar, but actually there's two more guitars. Hey, honey. So this guitar is fun because it was only made a single year, and it's a AX series, which is a lower end guitar, but it's a baritone. It's 27 inches and a single pickup, and I never had a baritone before, so I really wanted this guitar, and I realized it was only made 1 year, and I found out that they're actually really popular, and there's literally a Chinese company that makes bootleg Ibanez's, and they sell them, and I was like, wow, it must be really popular if they're doing that. And the bootleg version only has one knob, period, so it's easy to distinguish if it's fake or not. But this is the real deal, made in Korea. So this is a 1979 musician bass, and what I really love about this particular model, and I forget the numbering on it, so let's see, 79. This is a MC824, and for you guys that are into that, you'll know that the 800 series usually only had one pickup, and so if you had two pickups, it would be the 900 series, and the jack would be here. And what happened is that bass players were plugging in their bass and then stepping on the cord and snapping the jack, and the wood is super thin, so they're cracking it. And so what I really love about this bass is it's two pickups and it's passive, and you plug it in this way, so you don't have to worry about if I think this should be the universal place to plug a guitar in.
It makes sense.
There's some reason people like to put them there too.
Maybe the wire's easier, the routing on the body is easier.
Yeah. So this is a neck through body.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
5-piece neck. And then this is a same year, 79 MC100. So it's the bottom line dot inlay. 5-piece neck through body, and most of these guitars are walnut. They're dark.
Okay.
And so this one has the clear finish, and I really like it. It's beautiful.
Mirror finish plates on the back.
Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah, and then
24
fret. Yeah. You plug it in here.
Oh, careful now.
Yeah. Now this one here, I don't remember the model number.
Is that on the headstock? Is that a plate nailed into it?
It's actually a plate, metal plate, Ibanez. It's really cool. And the thumb stop is wood, and there's no screw, so it screws from the back of the plate. And it actually sounds great. It's just like the double neck, you know, the bass version, you know, the single bass, the Mudbucker pickup. These basses, you know, they're student grade instrument. It's not, you know, something you want to write home and go, hey, you know, but they sound fantastic and they play fantastic. So 2365B, yay, 2365B, boom. And then I just recently purchased a 2365 guitar, and you all know that one, the Jazzmaster. That's, I apologize that I didn't have that today to show you guys. But this is my last one, and it was a really pleasure showing you my instruments. Forgive my goofiness, and have a good one.